climb the corporate ladder, retrieve Money in the Bank, you'll become Mr. or Mrs. Money in the Bank for the next year or so until you cash in, and hopefully at that point you'll become a future champion in the WWE. WWE Money in the Bank 2020 taking place this Sunday, May the 10th. Half the event will be live in Orlando at the WWE Performance Center. The two Money in the Bank ladder matches that will, in fact, for the first time ever, be taking place at the same time. Those that has already been pre-taped for the past few weeks amid the coronavirus outbreak. And so hopefully everyone is staying safe and will continue to stay safe for the foreseeable future. Be sure to also tune in and watch my Money in the Bank live reactions live right here on YouTube. Like, follow, and subscribe on social media. As always, links in the description below. So 2 Money in the Bank ladder matches, 1 men's, 1 women's, both taking place at the same time. Climb the corporate ladder. This will be taking place in Stamford, Connecticut at the WWE headquarters. All 12 superstars, 6 men, 6 women, will start on the ground floor of WWE HQ. Battle to the top on the roof. The ring will be on the roof. Battle the whole way to the top of the ladder. Grab that Money in the Bank briefcase. And then within the next year, as mentioned, hopefully whoever will end up winning these matches, and I'll get into both of those coming up shortly, so stay tuned. Hopefully whoever wins those will successfully cash in, as we do in fact have some former Money in the Bank winners in the ladder matches once again this year. Some have successfully cashed in, some others have not. Also a few championship matches as well. So we'll see what happens. The mystery hacker will probably make an appearance during the event, and we'll finally find out who that has been, whether it be Ali, Chad Gable, maybe even Bobby Roode. A lot of people obviously speculating once again CM Punk making a return. I highly doubt it, but only time will in fact tell. WWE Money in the Bank this Sunday on Mother's Day. Shout out to all the moms out there. So as mentioned, once again, be sure to like, follow, and subscribe on social media. The links in the description below. Tune in on Sunday, May the 10th, 7 p.m. Eastern. WWE Money in the Bank live reactions live right here on YouTube. Like, follow, and subscribe. Let's get into it. Money in the Bank. A few championship matches, as mentioned. Drew McIntyre, Seth Rollins. That'll be for the WWE Championship. Braun Strowman, Bray Wyatt for the Universal Championship. Along with the 2 Money in the Bank ladder matches for this very, very unique pay-per-view event come Sunday, as we'll also see the New Day defend their SmackDown Tag Team Championships in a fatal 4-way tag team match. Bayley will also defend her SmackDown Women's Championship against Tamina, but we'll begin today for my WWE Money in the Bank preview predictions for the 2020 event on Sunday. Climb the corporate ladder once again, grab that briefcase, become Money in the Bank. We'll begin with a few matches that WWE just recently added within the past few hours or so. Jeff Hardy, Cesaro, R-Truth, MVP. Give me Truth over Montel Vontavious Porter. MVP putting over some talent as of late in his return to the company as a backstage producer. Also the VIP lounge on Monday Night Raw. Put over Apollo Crews a few weeks back. A week later, storyline-wise, gets injured, replaced by the Phenomenal One himself. I'll get into that during the men's Money in the Bank ladder match, as AJ Styles is now in the Money in the Bank ladder match, returning from the dead. MVP puts over R-Truth. Good to see Truth in an actual singles match on a pay-per-view. Now, it is on the kickoff show, but Truth has been tied up with the 24/7 championship the past year or so. Rob Gronkowski, your champion there, even with his return to the National Football League with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers alongside Tom Brady now. MVP also going to be in his first pay-per-view match in quite a while as well. R-Truth over MVP on Sunday at Money in the Bank, and then Jeff Hardy, Cesaro. Hardy should win. He probably won't, though. Sheamus will come out interfere. Cesaro picks up the win. Obviously continues the feud at that point with Jeff Hardy and Sheamus on Friday Night SmackDown. Bayley is a 100,000% lock over Tamina to retain her SmackDown Women's Championship. Sasha Banks will probably come out. They'll continue that, even though obviously they really haven't done anything with it yet. But they're still setting up the pieces, and we'll get that eventually sometime down the road as well. Probably SummerSlam, I would think. New Day, Miz and Morrison, Forgotten Sons, who got called up from NXT after WrestleMania, along with the Lucha House Party, SmackDown Tag Team Championships on the line. They had a triple threat ladder match at WrestleMania. I believe it was night one, if I'm not mistaken. However, only one partner from the New Day, Miz and Morrison, and the Usos, who are now on the shelf for the next few months or so, competed in the match. So it really technically wasn't an actual tag team match. It was basically just a triple threat tag team match at WrestleMania, which at that point it made no sense, but they still had it for the hell of it. But now, for the first time since then, we'll get a fatal four-way tag team match with New Day, Miz and Morrison, Hey Hey, Ho Ho as mentioned, Forgotten Sons, and Lucha House Party. Whatever they decide to do on Sunday, at that point, we'll know the direction moving forward for the SmackDown Tag Team Championships. Matches that aren't taking place for titles on Sunday, we'll see those on Raws, NXTs, and SmackDowns moving forward over the next weeks and months to come. Backlash will be in June, followed by Extreme Rules, and then SummerSlam in August. But honestly, have no clue who's going to win this. I'm just going to pick the New Day to retain because they are your current tag team champions on the blue brand. I wouldn't be surprised if Miz and Morrison get the titles back, though. Forgotten Sons, we'll see what type of push they give them after just having been called up right after WrestleMania, as mentioned. But whatever they do on Sunday, at that point, we'll know the direction moving forward. So picking this prediction-wise, just give me New Day because they are your champ. It'll probably end in a disqualification of some sort. I mean, it's a fatal four-way, so something's going to happen. You just know something's going to happen towards the end of the match. And then whoever the champions are at that point, okay, they retain. Braun Strowman will also defend his Universal Championship against Bray Wyatt. Just Bray Wyatt, not the Fiend Bray Wyatt, just Bray Wyatt, the Firefly Funhouse sweater Bray Wyatt that we've seen. The Fiend defeated John Cena at WrestleMania 36 in the Firefly Funhouse match. Braun Strowman defeated Goldberg at WrestleMania to become Universal Champion in a squash match because Goldberg still can't wrestle in 2020. Couldn't wrestle 20 years ago, still can't wrestle today. Hopefully they'll never bring him back ever again, but we know that's not true. Strowman replaced the big dog Roman Reigns, defeated Goldberg. Strowman, Universal Champion on SmackDown. Reigns on hiatus because of coronavirus. He's had leukemia in the past, weakened immune system. I totally get it. I've talked about that recently as well. Who knows when Reigns will return, if ever, really, to be honest with you. He'll come back eventually. It's just a matter of when. I shouldn't say if ever, but really he probably won't return until everything's all clear. There's a vaccine for this virus and so on and so forth. Whether or not that means there's fans in attendance, no fans, we won't be seeing Roman Reigns anytime soon. So we're going to have to settle for Braun Strowman as the Universal Champion on SmackDown. And I think it would be smart if the WWE had Strowman and Drew McIntyre both retain on Sunday at Money in the Bank. You need to establish strong champions on Raw and SmackDown, especially when you just had both of them win the championships for the first time ever a month ago at WrestleMania. Bray, yes, great choice to defeat Braun. Rollins, great choice to defeat McIntyre. The timing's just not right, though. Please, even though I would love Bray Wyatt to win the Universal Championship once again and defeat Braun Strowman at Money in the Bank, along with Rollins defeating McIntyre, I myself, though, want McIntyre to retain. Will he? We'll see. Wouldn't be surprised if Rollins gets the WWE Championship back for the first time in quite a while. Murphy, I think, will interfere. It'll go the wrong way. They'll finally start moving forward with Rollins and Murphy. McIntyre has options on Raw for number one contenders. List goes on and on there. Whoever wins Money in the Bank as well could very well cash in on whoever wins these two matches, at Money in the Bank or on Raw or SmackDown next week, maybe even a month from now, a couple months from now, even a year from now, as you'll have within a year to cash in your Money in the Bank. Because really, with whoever wins Money in the Bank, it sets the direction for the next year or so. And you know who's going to be fighting for championships on Monday nights, Wednesday nights, or even Friday nights for Raw, NXT, and SmackDown. So, Braun Strowman once again defending against Bray Wyatt, Universal Championship on the line. They went back in time a little bit, past 5 or 6 years or so. Wyatt family, Bray obviously the leader, Black Sheep comes in, that's Braun Strowman, and really have made us relive what the Wyatt family did and was capable of until the split. And now Harper's in AEW as the Exalted One, Brody Lee. Eric Rowan released last month after WrestleMania with the cuts. Strowman, Universal Champion. Bray Wyatt, a former WWE Champion, former Universal Champion. Lost to Goldberg at Super Showdown in February. Obviously, it played out the right way, and then Strowman replaced Reigns, because really this right now, come Sunday at Money in the Bank, should be Reigns, Bray Wyatt for the Universal title, not Strowman Wyatt. But obviously, with things going on, okay, plan B, you got to do what you got to do, and we're getting Strowman Wyatt, I believe, for the first time in singles competition with the championship on the line, if I'm not mistaken. So as mentioned, obviously with both Strowman and McIntyre just becoming champions, smart choice, have the champs retain, make them look very, very strong as possible, and then I think the Strowman-Wyatt feud will be continuing on a little bit longer than, say, McIntyre-Rollins, because on Monday Night Raw you have 3 hours compared to the 2 for SmackDown, and you have more options for Drew McIntyre as number one contenders for the WWE Championship than what you would for Braun Strowman on SmackDown for the Universal Championship. So we'll see what they do on Sunday. I mean, hell, like I said, whoever wins Money in the Bank could very well cash in right afterwards, or even on Raw, NXT, or SmackDown over the next few weeks or months to come. So Strowman's my pick to retain, even though I would obviously, yes, like to have Bray Wyatt get the title back, but timing's just not right, as mentioned. It'd be smart to have The Fiend recapture the title, not Bray Wyatt, but it's still Bray Wyatt. It's The Fiend Bray Wyatt. It's all Firefly Funhouse. It's the Sick and Twisted Wyatt family. It's all that wrapped up into one. So Strowman retains, and then Drew McIntyre, Seth Rollins toss up, really. I mean, honestly, they could have Rollins recapture the title here, become WWE Champion for the first time in quite a while, as mentioned, because recently he was the Universal Champion. The red Universal Championship title belt that they had before Bray won it. He's on SmackDown. Okay, they switch it from red to blue because of Raw and SmackDown. But establish McIntyre as your WWE Champion. Murphy comes out, interferes, as mentioned. It goes the wrong way. Okay, you get Rollins, Murphy for the summer. Rollins maybe becomes champion after that. Rollins puts over Murphy in the meantime, though. You have a feud there, just as you're going to have a feud with Jeff Hardy, Sheamus on SmackDown, along with a few other situations on both Raw and SmackDown. But the WWE Championship match ties into the men's Money in the Bank ladder match. Obviously, yeah, it could tie into the Universal Championship match as well, as we have 3 superstars from Raw, 3 superstars from SmackDown in both men's and women's Money in the Bank ladder matches that, as mentioned, will be taking place at the same time for the first time ever during this very, very unique and interesting Money in the Bank Climb the Corporate Ladder pay-per-view on Sunday. I say that because I believe the men's and women's Money in the Bank winners will both be from Monday Night Raw. I'll get into the women's coming up shortly. But like, this is just the excitement with the Money in the Bank, because whoever wins it can cash in anytime, anywhere they so damn well please within a full calendar year. And if they successfully cash in, they're either WWE or Universal Champion, or Raw or SmackDown Women's Champion. So a lot is on the line. It'll set the course for the next year from now until WrestleMania 37, and then potentially shortly afterwards as well, depending on obviously when whoever they have win, whether it be Daniel Bryan, King Corbin, Otis, those are your three from SmackDown, or even Aleister Black, Rey Mysterio, or AJ Styles, who is replacing Apollo Crews on Monday Night Raw in the men's Money in the Bank ladder match. Whenever they want them to cash in, okay, at that point, they're either becoming champion or not becoming champion, and whoever they try to cash in on will retain their championship at that point. So Money in the Bank just it sets the course. It's obviously one of the main 4 or 5 top pay-per-views for the WWE, up there with the Royal Rumble, WrestleMania, SummerSlam, Survivor Series. My favorite pay-per-view, because really whoever wins, as mentioned, they could become champion just like that in a split second. And obviously, you wouldn't see it coming, because obviously that's the surprise about it. Like when Dolph Ziggler cashed in the night after WrestleMania 29, Seth Rollins cashing in the main event of WrestleMania 31, both becoming champions. There is a 83% success rate. If you win Money in the Bank, there's at least an 83% shot that you're going to become a champion. Daniel Bryan's won Money in the Bank. He's become champion. King Corbin's won Money in the Bank. This was when he still had hair. He was regular Baron Corbin, even before the Waiter Corbin that we had. And now King Corbin, after winning Money in the Bank, or excuse me, King of the Ring, looking, as Daniel Bryan is, to become a 2-time Money in the Bank winner. However, when Corbin cashed in, he was unsuccessful in doing so against John Cena at SummerSlam a few years ago. Daniel Bryan, unfortunately, even though he's one of my picks, he will not win Money in the Bank this year. King Corbin, same route. Sami Zayn, your Intercontinental Champion, both of those superstars will be inserted into that mix whenever Zayn does, in fact, return from his hiatus that he's on due to an injury hanging out with his cat. But both Daniel Bryan and Corbin will be there. Elias as well with Corbin. I don't get why Daniel Bryan didn't win the IC title at Mania, and then still have him in the Money in the Bank. But okay, there's a month in between. We want to do this for the time being. Okay, so be it. I get it. Otis is not winning. So those are your 3 from SmackDown. Now, obviously, WWE could, throw us a curveball from out of left field, big swerve, and, have one of those 3 win it. Wouldn't mind if DB won it again, or Corbin for that matter. Otis, along with Rey Mysterio, in my opinion, everybody has their own opinion, I totally understand it, they just don't make sense for winning Money in the Bank this year. Once again, timing not right, because Otis, come Backlash, maybe even Extreme Rules or SummerSlam, mixed tag team match alongside Mandy Rose up against Dolph Ziggler and Sonya Deville. Ray potentially up against Andrade finally for the United States Championship. That leaves AJ Styles, who's replacing Apollo Crews because he's injured storyline-wise, turning him heel. And then Aleister Black. AJ deserves it. Aleister deserves it. Daniel Bryan deserves it. Corbin deserves it. My picks, though, in this order for the men's Money in the Bank are as follows: AJ Styles, Aleister Black, Daniel Bryan, and King Corbin. Otis, I don't think has a shot alongside Rey Mysterio. Now, who knows? They might have Mysterio win it. I believe he's come close to winning it before, if I'm not mistaken. Have to go back and do some research on that. But Otis on SmackDown couldn't even climb the ladder. bottom two rungs whenever, and obviously it was set like that, but when he would step on the ladder trying to climb it, the rungs broke. No offense to Otis by any means, but like, if you can't even climb the ladder, if the ladder's going to break on you, how are you supposed to work your way through WWE headquarters? And who knows where they'll end up fighting at. All hell's going to break loose. Obviously, yeah, they're probably writing a check that their ass cannot cash, as we've seen in the past with selling pay-per-views. I'm not saying they're going to sell us short, but sort of am, because I just have that feeling for some reason. Now, whether or not this Money in the Bank, I believe I said it earlier, this Money in the Bank match is going to last the whole show, or if they're going to have it as the main event and then have the other matches go on live in the meantime, I don't know. We're all going to have to find out and see it once on Sunday night on the WWE Network. As mentioned, I'll have live reactions right here on YouTube, so be sure to tune in. But, like, how do you expect to grab the briefcase after fighting throughout the whole building, Titan Towers as they like to call it, and then climb the ladder? How are you supposed to climb the ladder if you can't even climb the ladder and grab the briefcase if you expect to win Money in the Bank? So Otis sure as hell ain't winning. Mysterio high flying. Somebody's probably going to be thrown off the roof. We'll have to see if we get any cameos by anybody just standing around. Okay, hey, fight this way, like I'm the boogeyman and I'm coming to get you, or the Undertaker shows up or something like that, just out of the blue to sell the pay-per-view, to get people to tune in if it blows up on social media. But AJ returning has to be the clear-cut favorite. Aleister Black deserves it by a mile. Those are my two picks for the men's Money in the Bank ladder match, even though the men's and women's is taking place at the same time as mentioned. So AJ, Aleister, Daniel Bryan, King Corbin, I'd be fine with those four. If Mysterio wins, Otis wins, I'm just not going to get it. I won't understand it unless something happens from now until then. In the meantime, during the show, but I highly doubt it. And then the women's Money in the Bank ladder match, that's taking place during the men's. Maybe we'll get some intergender wrestling. I highly doubt it, because it's the WWE, not any other promotion. Asuka, Shayna Baszler, and Nia Jax from Monday Night Raw up against Carmella, Dana Brooke, and Lacey Evans from Friday Night SmackDown. As mentioned, I believe both winners are going to be coming from the Raw side. Shayna Baszler has to be the number one option, followed by Asuka, and then Nia Jax. But only time's going to tell. Shayna makes the most sense for myself, only because she should have won the Royal Rumble. Charlotte won that. Beat Rhea Ripley at WrestleMania, become NXT Women's Champion once again. Rhea actually just returned on NXT this past week as well, along with Adam Cole defeating the Velveteen Dream to retain his NXT Championship. We got some news as well for AEW Double or Nothing. It'll be a rematch from a recent WWE pay-per-view. Dean Ambrose and Luke Harper, now Jon Moxley and the Exalted One Brody Lee for the AEW World Heavyweight Championship. But Shayna then won the Elimination Chamber, absolutely dominated the match. I was there in person. Videos from recent professional wrestling events as well right here on the channel, so be sure to go check those out. I was actually supposed to be at Money in the Bank, but however, obviously, due to coronavirus, that being postponed, moved to another location, no fans in attendance, of course. Half this will be live, Money in the Bank match having already been pre-taped. A little disappointing, but it is what it is. Maybe down the road sometime we'll get that chance once again. But Shayna then at WrestleMania, I don't know why, she lost to Becky Lynch. Becky is still your Raw Women's Champion. The next night on Raw, they already have advertised for Becky to confront whoever wins the women's Money in the Bank match. So technically that's like a clue that it's going to come from the Raw side, basically. And I would think it's going to be Shayna, because then down the road, okay, if you have Shayna beat Becky, Becky's held the title for over a year now, bring back Ronda Rousey. You have your MMA match then with Rousey and Baszler, as they both fought in the octagon in the UFC before. Asuka makes sense as well. They should have had her win this a few years back. However, obviously that did not happen. And then Nia Jax makes sense as well because she's a damn good heel. No one likes her. She could cash in on whoever the champion would be at that point in time. Becky, Ronda, Shayna, whoever. But my pick for the women's Money in the Bank match is going to be Shayna Baszler, because I just think it makes the most sense, because it seems like they're very, very high on her. As mentioned, she almost won the Rumble. Won Elimination Chamber. Should have beat Becky at Mania. Did not. Really haven't done anything with her since. All the superstars, actually, as well, now that I remember, from Monday Night Raw at least, the three with Aleister Black, Rey Mysterio, and AJ Styles, along with a few others, and then Asuka, Shayna Baszler, Nia Jax, they've all been on MVP's VIP lounge on Monday Night Raw the past few weeks, as well as Raw and SmackDown. As of late, some have been live, some have been pre-taped. Money in the Bank this Sunday on Mother's Day. Shout out to all the moms out there once again. The Money in the Bank match, the ladder match that will take place at the same time, has already been pre-taped. Obviously, WWE knows who has in fact won. Hopefully no spoilers will get out about that. But however, the other 2, 4, 6 matches, those will in fact take place live at Money in the Bank this year. And once again, my picks for Money in the Bank 2020 are R-Truth over MVP, Cesaro over Jeff Hardy, because I think Sheamus will come out and interfere, cost Jeff Hardy the match. As mentioned earlier, that'll continue the feud. Bayley, a lock over Tamina. Sasha comes out. They'll continue that on New Day, because I have no clue what's going to happen. SmackDown Tag Team picture. Both Braun Strowman and Drew McIntyre retain their Universal and WWE Championships. Be sure to vote on the Question of the Day polls as well for Braun Strowman, Bray Wyatt, Drew McIntyre, Seth Rollins, and Daniel Bryan, King Corbin, Otis, Aleister Black, Rey Mysterio, and AJ Styles in the men's Money in the Bank ladder match on Gridiron Ring's Facebook and Twitter page. Like, follow, and subscribe. Links in the description below. And then it's either going to be AJ Styles or Aleister Black, Shayna Baszler, Asuka, or Nia Jax, I do believe, winning the Money in the Bank ladder matches. Let me know in the comments below what you thought. Give me your predictions as well. Like, follow, and subscribe on social media. And I hope to see everybody for my WWE Money in the Bank live reactions, live right here on YouTube, Sunday night, May the 10th at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, as we'll have the first pay-per-view since WrestleMania, and the second now without fans in attendance, which is a little bit of a bummer, as mentioned, especially for myself at least, because I was supposed to be at Money in the Bank this year. But as mentioned, it is what it is, and we'll see what happens, and we'll see who becomes Mr. and Mrs. Money in the Bank. Thanks for listening. Like, follow, and subscribe. Share on social media. And I'll see everybody for live reactions of WWE Money in the Bank.